My father bought those ponies for breeding. Now, I've looked at them and they're all geldings. You cannot breed geldings.
Oh, that your father bought...
That was the best line delivery she's had in the whole movie.
You'll have to take that up with the man who's...
Hey y'all, Madison here, back for another Film Friday, and this week's movie is my Western of the month, and I'm so excited to finally be able to say that this week I am watching True Grit, starring John Wayne. So it's the 1969 edition. I love the story of True Grit. Have not read the novel, but I was first introduced to the story several years ago when I watched the 2010 version of True Grit, the adaptation by the Coen brothers. That's how I was introduced to the story. Loved the movie. I've only seen it one time since then, so I think I've just seen it a couple times total, but I have never seen the original film adaptation starring John Wayne, and tons of people have been telling me I needed to watch it. There's a lot of debate. Some people like the new version better. Some people like the John Wayne version better. So I'm really excited to check out this different version of the same story from many decades prior. And I love John Wayne movies, so I'm really excited to see him in the role of Rooster Cogburn. It's going to be fun. So without further ado, guys, I'm so excited. So I'm just going to jump right in here and let's check out True Grit.
Sadness will leave your face some days, little girl.
I love the song and the intro here. I've never heard this before.
You're not traveling very heavy, Tom. I got all I need.
You should be taking the train, Frank.
On duty, 70 miles will be just a pleasant outing.
70 miles, that's quite a trip.
I'm in here, Papa.
Yeah, this is her dad. He's gonna get killed. Oh.
$150 cash money.
I intend to buy as many ponies as I can swing.
I don't think much of Texas ponies. They're small and chicken-brained.
This Colonel Stonehill, he's got to get rid of them before winter sets in.
Papa, that gun's old-fashioned.
It's got a long way to go yet.
Goodbye, Papa.
Tom's the one who kills him, right? The guy who's riding with him. I think his name was Tom.
Tom Cheney. Now there's trash for you.
Yep, Tom Cheney.
Them card sharks is cheating me. I want to get my money back. Gonna say a whole lot quick.
I won't allow you to get in trouble. Give me your gun.
I'll give you one end of it.
Man, imagine this guy takes you in off the street, gives you a roof over your head, and that's how you repay him. He really is no good, isn't he?
Can you tell me where the undertaker is?
Around the corner from the courthouse, ma'am.
Can't understand all these people being here.
They're hanging 3 men today at the courthouse.
We better go and see about Papa.
Now that's a sign you don't see these days. Closed, gone to hanging.
You want to go to that hanging?
Afraid I can't. Your mama said keep an eye on you.
Well, I'll go along. Don't worry, I won't tell Mama.
Wonder who they're hanging. There's kids just casually swinging in the background. That's so dark.
It's Judge Parker. He watches all the hanging. He says it's his sense of duty.
No, I'm here. I'll see it all.
You know, it's funny, she doesn't look like the actress who played Maddie in the Coen Brothers edition, but she's got that same look in her eyes. Their eyes are similar. Shoot, what was her name? Haley something? I can't believe I can't remember her name.
Is that the man?
That is my father.
If you would like to kiss him, it will be all right.
No. Put the lid on it.
She's handling this so much more calmly than I would. But you know, those frontier people, they were a whole nother level of tough. And they saw death a lot.
My father was killed in Fort Smith by a coward named Tom Cheney.
His name's Chambers. He's now in Indian territory. He was with Lucky Ned Pepper robbing a mail hack Tuesday down on the Plateau River.
There's no Chambers to it. Why aren't you out looking for him?
I have no authority in the Indian nation.
Who's the best marshal they have?
The meanest one is Rooster Cogburn, a pitiless man. Fear don't enter into his thinking. He'll be at the federal court this afternoon. He's bringing in a load of prisoners from the territory. Your father's gun. Want to take it home, I expect.
I won't rest until Tom Cheney's barking in hell.
Maddie, she's always no nonsense, take care of business. I've always loved her independence and her confidence for her age, because I think she's supposed to be like 14 years old, but she just takes care of business, man. She was raised right. There he is. Eye patch and all.
Are those the prisoners from the Indian Territory.
Yes, ma'am.
You know if any one of them is Tom Cheney?
Well, Cogburn ain't turned in his list yet.
Which one of the marshals is Rooster Cogburn?
A big fella with the eye patch.
I mean, why does she need to ask if one of them's Tom Cheney? She knows what he looks like. She would have seen him if he was in the lineup.
Mr. Cogburn?
The best time for you to nail Rooster would be tomorrow. He's due to testify before Judge Parker in the Wharton case.
You're late, Mr. LeBouf.
The French is Le Beurre. I call it Le Beef.
La Beef. Okay, here's our sniper, our sharpshooter.
Howdy. What's your name?
I'd like to go to bed now.
How rude.
I'll take a guess and say your name is Mattie Ross.
How do you suppose he guessed my name?
He's a good guesser, I guess.
Yeah, how did he know that?
You'll sleep in here with Grandma Turner. Now, don't you worry about Grandma Turner. She's used to doubling up.
I take it my rent will be half then.
This is your father's traps. The watch and the knife are inside. The man Cheney stole his money and his horse.
I think she should pay half rent since she's having to share a room.
Opinion of a federal marshal called Rooster Cogburn.
He loves to pull a cork, I know that.
I like this moment here. Finally, some emotion from her. She was so stoic. It's like, is she ever going to cry over her dad? But there it was. She lets it show when she's alone.
Mr. Cogburn, you testified for the prosecution this morning. Allow me to summarize what you said. C.C. Wharton grabbed up a shotgun and killed Marshal Potter, and you shot him. The father swung his axe, and you shot him, too. How long have you been a deputy marshal, Mr. Cogburn?
4 years come March.
How many men have you shot in that time?
Well, 12 to 15, stopping men in flight and defending myself.
You do what you gotta do, man. It's a rough world.
Now, is it not true that you sprang upon old man Wharton and his 2 sons with a deadly 6-shot revolver in your hand?
I always try to be ready.
Was this revolver loaded and cocked?
Well, a gun that's unloaded and cocked ain't good for nothing.
Yeah. My gun wasn't loaded. Well, then what's the point of having it? Better to have one and not need it than need it and not have it.
You are dismissed, Mr. Cogburn. Call the next witness.
I always loved the grumpy old gunslinger characters.
I'm looking for Tom Cheney. He's the man that shot and killed my father, Frank Ross. My mother's home looking after my baby sister and my brother, little Frank.
Well, then why don't you go home and leave me alone?
You can get a fugitive warrant for Tom Cheney. I'll give you $50 reward.
What are you doing with all this pistol?
Belonged to my father, and I intend to kill Tom Cheney with it if the law fails to do so.
I don't think you got $50.
I will have it by tomorrow. Do you know a robber by the name of Lucky Ned Pepper?
I shot him in the lip last August over at Winding Stair Mountains.
Well, I think Tom Cheney's tied up with him.
Yeah?
She's trying so hard to rope him in.
If you're hungry, I'll take you home and give you supper. How does that suit you?
Right down to the ground. I'd like to meet your family.
I don't think he has a family. There's a kitty.
This is my father, Chen Lee, and my nephew, General Sterling Price. Give me a cup.
I don't drink coffee, thank you.
Well, now, what do you drink?
I'm partial to cold buttermilk.
Well, we ain't got none of that. Let's get to the game.
So uncouth. She's trying to play it cool, but she's like... I mean, she was already unnerved by Le Beef the night before.
Well, sis, my price is $100.
I will think about your proposition and talk to you again. I want to go to the Mornock boarding house. You better walk me over there.
You are a lot of trouble.
Shh. That rat made his last mistake. Ugh, don't touch it. Ugh. Why didn't that cat get it? The cat was right there. Lazy cat, not doing his job.
That was your job in the first place.
Exactly.
You can't serve papers on a rat. You gotta kill him or let him be. We had a good court going around here till them petty fogging lawyers moved in.
Give them rats a fair show, they say. Well, what kind of a fair show did they give old man Potter?
Interesting analogy there with the rat versus the criminals that he deals with.
How'd you know my name was Mattie Ross?
I saw your mother yesterday. Can you identify the man in this picture?
That's a likeness of Tom Chaney.
I know all about your father.
How come you didn't show me this last night when we met?
I only take one step at a time. That's why I was given 2 feet.
Well, and you didn't give him much of a chance to tell you.
He shot and killed a state senator named Bibbs down in Waco, Texas. I've been on his trail the best part of 4 months now. Maybe I'll throw in with you and your federal marshal. I must have him alive down to McLennan County, Texas.
We're taking him to Fort Smith and hang.
Is it important where he hangs?
Well, if in 4 months I could not find Tom Chaney, I would not advise others how to do it.
A little earlier, I gave some thought to stealing a kiss from you, although you are very young.
Yeah, too young, dude.
Lay a hand on me and you'll answer for it. Good people of this state do not go easy on men who abuse women and children.
You tell him, Maddie.
You'll push that saucy line too far.
Mr. LaBeef, I have no regard for you, but I'm sure you have enough for yourself to go around.
Always starts off with drama between those two.
I'd like to sell you back those ponies that my father bought. My father bought those ponies for breeding. Now, I've looked at them and they're all geldings. You cannot breed geldings.
That was the best line delivery she's had in the whole movie.
You have no case.
I will not be pushed about when I'm in the right.
I'll take it up with my attorney.
And I will take it up with mine. And he will make money, and I will make money, and your lawyer will make money. And you, Mr. Licensed Auctioneer, you will foot the bill.
That was fantastic.
I will pay a total of $200.
My lawyer would not wish me to consider anything under $300. Now, for that, you get everything except the saddle.
I would like to have that in writing. When I have it in my hand, I'll remit the extortion money.
Extortion.
I'll give you a check.
I prefer cash.
She drives a hard bargain. But I mean, he did screw her dad over, so he deserves it.
Do you know Marshal Rooster Cogburn?
I would not be surprised to learn that he's a relative of yours.
Well, not a relative, but a comrade, an ally.
God, Doan, you got it. How much is her there?
He's still game?
Baby sister, I was born game, and I intend to go out that way.
We leave for the territory this afternoon to get Tom Chaney.
Well, you're not going. First night out, you'd be calling, Mama, Mama.
If you're not game, I'll find somebody who is.
I ought to paddle your rump.
I don't know how you propose to do that from that hog wallow you're sunk into.
This banter is so great.
I guess we can get started at first light.
I'll be more than ready.
Look what we got.
Cat's like, give me that cash.
A young girl fell headfirst into a 50-foot well on the Towson Road. I thought perhaps it was you.
No, it was not I.
I think he was hoping it was you, Maddie.
Well, I'll take one of those ponies off your hands. The black one with the white stockings. I will pay you $12 for that pony. If you shoe him for me, I will not ride a barefoot pony.
I wish I could buy a new horse for $12.
What are you doing here?
This Jaybird says he's on the track of the same man we're after. Like, throw in with us.
I've already told him we're not interested in his help.
Big bore Sharp's carbine might come in handy. We get jumped by elephants or buffalo or something.
Elephants.
How much she paying you? Is she paying you $500? The Bibbs family's put up another $1,500 for Chaney.
This man wants to take Chaney back to Texas. That's not what I want.
You gotta learn that you can't have everything your own way.
Now you run along home, little britches. Your mama wants you.
Well, maybe I'll just catch this Chaney by myself and take all the money.
I'd dispute your claim. I'd muddy up the water.
You do that and I'll kill you.
Maddie is thoroughly entertained.
You get crossways of me and you'll think 1,000 of brick have fell on you.
Knock him down, Rooster.
Stay out of this. We'll get your man. That's the main thing.
Give me my $25 back.
Spend it.
He already spent it.
If you think you can cheat me, you're mistaken. You've not heard the last of Mattie Ross. You may well hear from my lawyer, Daggett.
Who's lawyer Daggett?
I wouldn't worry about him. I'd worry about our business at hand.
I don't know why she cares where he hangs. Like, I would just want him to hang. I wouldn't care where. As long as I got the end result I wanted. I wouldn't care which town.
River looks kind of high.
Yeah, it's been raining up country. Who you looking for this time, Marshal?
Well, now, Red, if I was to tell you that, you might tell him.
Runs out yelling and angry and then comes around the corner smiling.
Forget about the freight, Patty, and take us on across.
You're not getting on this ferry.
I've paid my 10 cents for horse and rider.
Red, take this girl into town to the sheriff. She's a runaway.
That's a big story.
Oh, she's a runaway, all right.
Now, I've got business across the river, and if you interfere with me, you may land up in court, which you don't want to be. I've got a good lawyer in J. Noble Daggett.
I always wonder if her lawyer's as good as she says, or if she's bluffing.
Wait a minute. I gotta fix my hat.
And there she goes. Crossing that water. I remember this part.
My God, she reminds me of me.
I love it. The unbreakable determination will not be left behind.
You were a little slow getting across.
She doesn't look near wet enough for having to swim across that water. Her clothes look dry. They're still trying to leave her.
Those horses can't get away from little Blackie. They're loaded down with fat men and iron.
That is true. She's a much lighter rider. That would hurt. No.
Drop that switch, LaBeef.
You'll find that I go ahead with what I start.
You do, and it'll be the biggest mistake you ever made. Just leave her alone.
When we locate Cheney, we can jump him in the same way, hit him on the head with sticks, and knock him insensible. Then we can tie his feet and hands together and take him back alive.
Get on your horse.
You're lucky he's letting you come along. Just don't question it, get on the horse. And don't offer any ideas. Gorgeous view there.
What'd you bring for us to eat?
Oh, salt, red pepper, taffy,
What are those things?
corn dodgers.
Oh, I love those pretty aspen trees.
That tastes like iron.
Well, you're lucky to be where water's so handy. I've seen the time I've drank out of a filthy hoof print, and I was glad to get it.
How would you two like to hear the story of the Midnight Caller?
Fine. Go ahead and tell it.
I'll tell the story if you stop drinking.
That baby sister is no trade.
She tried. Gobble gobble. Now he was complaining about the fire being too big because they wanted to pass unnoticed, but then he fires off a rifle. Inconsistent, LaBeef. I have beef with that.
We won't get to McAllister's by dark, so we better head for a dugout I know.
That will make a lot better meal though. Turkey. Little Blackie's so pretty. God, this is so gorgeous. Was this filmed in Colorado? Looks like Colorado to me.
Who are you? What do you want?
We're looking for a place to sleep.
Well, there's no room for you here.
Try that on the chimney.
Smoke them out. He came out shooting.
I got 5 more marshals out here.
There's no 5 marshals out there.
Well, now don't you bet your life on it.
Tell those others to be careful with their guns. We're coming out.
Hit the dirt.
Catching criminals while on the hunt for criminals.
When's the last time you saw Ned Pepper?
I don't remember any Ned Pepper.
Got a messed up lower lip.
A funny lip?
Wasn't always like that. I shot him in it.
Don't let him spook you. Ain't got nothing on us.
Well, if you won't talk, you can keep busy. Cut that up for frying.
Who are you?
She's after the man that killed her father.
I don't like the way you look. And I don't like the way you're cutting up that turkey. I hope you go to jail.
I wouldn't talk to that guy like that while he's cutting up a turkey. He could just reach across the table and be like, ah.
I gotta have a doctor. I'll tell you what I know. Ow!
Can't do a thing for you, son. Your partner's killed you, and I've done for him. Where's Ned Pepper?
They're gonna rob the Katy Flyer. They're coming here tonight.
I always feel bad for this guy.
Do you want us to tell your brother what happened to you?
It doesn't matter. He knows.
Let me have that. It's one of Papa's gold pieces.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Looks like we're on Cheney's trail.
Now go saddle the horses.
You aim to run?
I aim to do what I come here to do.
That was definitely one of the more unforgettable scenes from the 2010 adaptation. I remember that poor guy getting his finger cut off, and then it gets real Western from there. It's really fun comparing the two adaptations and seeing the differences and seeing the similarities.
You take your horse and find a position over there. I'll be up on this side, and don't shoot unless I do.
Why don't I try to nick Cheney before he gets inside?
You hit Cheney with that Sharp's rival of yours, you're apt to kill him.
Yes, remember the turkey.
Remember the turkey?
Where does she go?
I go where Rooster goes.
I too would rather be with Rooster than LaBeef. That is a steep incline.
You stay here. Keep the horses quiet.
Can't see anything from over there.
Well, haven't you seen enough killings for one day?
Keeping horses quiet. Easier said than done.
Why do you keep that one chamber empty?
So I won't shoot my foot off.
Exactly.
Corn dodger?
Light a match and let me see it first.
What for?
Well, some of them got blood on them.
I wouldn't want it with blood on it either.
How'd you lose your eye?
It was in the war.
What'd you do after the war?
I robbed me a federal paymaster and went to Cairo, Illinois, and bought a eating place there called the Green Frog, married a grass widow. She up and left me and went back to her first husband, who was clerking in a hardware store in Paducah. I said, "Goodbye, Nola, and I hope that nail-selling bastard makes you happy this time."
Oh, man.
Never did get you for stealing that money.
When that posse thinned out, I turned old Bo around and taking them reins in my teeth, I charged them boys firing 2 Navy 6s. They scattered and run for home.
A man with many stories to tell. Had a hard life. A lot of bad happened to him.
You see Cheney?
Can't make out their faces.
Oh, that's Ned Pepper, all right.
I remember Ned Pepper.
Hey!
Ooh. LaBeef did not wait. There they go. He's like, get out of the saddle. I'm taking this horse now. Forget the only guy who came back for me. I'm just gonna throw him out of the way. Save myself.
That man gave his life for him. He didn't even look back.
Exactly. He was the opposite of like, go on, save yourselves. He's like, I'm saving myself. Get out of the way.
Well, what's your story?
I was on the move to a better place, and I thought you'd opened up.
You liar.
That's nothing but a little scratch.
Won't take long.
Well, LaBeef, you're quite a horse shooter.
I was trying for Ned Pepper.
Well, next time try for the horse and maybe you'll hit Pepper.
God, I love the trash talking. Rooster's horse is so much bigger than LaBeef's.
I was told in Fort Smith that you rode with Quantrell. And I heard that Quantrell and his men weren't soldiers at all. I heard they murdered women and children in the Lawrence raid.
Definitely remember the name of Quantrell. Confederate in Missouri. Connected to Jesse James.
I don't like your conversation about Captain Quantrill.
Captain of what? Bunch of thieves?
If you're looking for trouble, I'll accommodate you. Otherwise, leave it alone.
There's McAllister's.
Rooster, what are you doing here? Hey, if you're after little Ned Pepper, you're on a cold trail here.
We're looking for another man, too. He's got a black mark on his face.
Well, Ned passed through here a couple of days ago.
That man with the black mark on his face. He killed my father.
Boots, I got Hayes and some youngster outside with Moon and Quincy. I want you to bury him for me.
They're dead?
Well, I wouldn't want you to bury him if they wasn't.
What about LaBeef's hand?
It can wait.
You're of no good use when you're handicapped.
Handicapped. Get it?
Wash first.
Why?
Don't you wash before you eat?
I'm not going to eat his hand.
I'm not going to eat his hand.
The time has come for me to ride hard and fast. You stay here with the McAllisters, and I'll be back in 2-3 days with Tom Cheney.
You think I'm going to quit when we're so close?
There's something in what she's saying, Cogburn. She's won her spurs.
LaBeef's like, she wrapped up my hand. Let's let her keep coming along with us.
I paid good cash money to be here, and I'm on my own business. Now we'll have no more talk about it. Let's eat.
That look on his face was great.
What are you doing?
Looking for sign.
You couldn't see it if you saw it.
Imagine how good he would be if he wasn't drunk all the time.
You looking for sign again?
It was Bo. He put his foot wrong.
Blame the horse.
I was a pretty fair hand with a jerk line when I was freighting in Colorado. Worked for a fella that was always down with something. His wife commenced running things. I wasn't about to work for her. A man will never work for a woman unless he's got clabber for brains.
Yeah, you're working for a woman right now.
We're close to Ned Pepper's camp. Tomorrow we'll take him.
And you should not be drunk when you attempt to do so.
We're going to that canteen.
Wash the sleep off of me, of course.
Shouldn't one of us go down with her? Might not be safe.
Labeep, I think I know why you be wanting to follow her. You just stay put. Ouch. There he is.
I'm here to take you back to Fort Smith and hang you.
And I think I will not go. Now, how do you like that?
You mean to say that you won't go with me on your own free will?
You just got it the other way around. Now, you will follow me.
And that's what he gets for underestimating her.
You killed my father.
Everything happens to me. Now I'm shot by a child.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what you deserve, Cheney. Should have shot him again.
Sis! Take her and go!
He's moving around way too well for having just gotten shot in the ribs. Think he'd be on the ground bleeding out from a gut shot.
The truth, who's out there?
Marshal Rooster Cockburn and a Texas Ranger.
Rooster, can you hear me? You and that ranger get moving double fast. You got 5 minutes. All right, we're moving, but we'll need more than 5 minutes.
My family has property, and I don't know why I'm being treated like this.
I don't think he cares what property your family has.
Keep this turkey cock quiet or we're having for supper. Why don't you shut up? Get her.
She had Cheney and then let him get the best of her.
Your 5 minutes is up. They better show.
Hey, Ned.
Rooster Cockburn is no good friend of mine. Is that what they call grit in Fort Smith?
Don't worry. He's just faking him out. It's called a misdirect.
We're 5 men and 4 horses. One of us stays behind. That's you, Cheney. You lost a horse.
I'm not staying with Tom Cheney.
He won't harm you. You understand that? Do it again, Harold. Do it.
Does that guy talk or does he just make animal noises?
What are you doing?
Getting some water so I can wash my hands.
There's rattlesnakes down there in that pit, and I'm going to throw you in it.
That look, she's plotting.
If you let me go now, I will keep silent as to your whereabouts for 2 days.
I can do better than that. I can shut you up forever. All right, Cheney. You get over there and you stay over there.
Watch out where you step. He says there's deadly snakes in that hole.
Shouldn't have left Cheney. What a shot there, I love it.
Where is the girl, Ned?
Rooster! I got Maddie! Cheney, too! Well, Rooster, will you give us the road?
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned.
I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
I love that exchange, it's so iconic. Get him, Rooster.
Well, Rooster, I'm shot to pieces.
Hooray for the man from Texas! Some bully shot.
Heck of a shot indeed.
Damn you, Bo. First time you ever give me reason to cuss you.
He didn't mean to fall on you, poor horse. The rattlesnake pit. It will haunt me as long as I live. Oh.
You say you don't like it?
Cheney just won't die. She just keeps shooting him and he just won't die.
Are you down there, sis?
Hurry, I'm in a bad way.
I'm gonna fix your rope. Tie a good knot.
I can't. I'm caught. My arm is broken.
Hang on right here.
Nightmare fuel. Those rattlesnakes. Nightmare fuel.
I want Papa's gun. I want the other gold piece, too.
Are you sure you don't want the snake?
Girl, you got bigger problems. They're all in bad shape. Except for Rooster. He made out all right.
Texican. Saved him the neck twice. Once after he was dead.
He's not dead. He just got a concussion. Is he really dead? I don't remember him dying in the other adaptation. I'm pretty sure he's just got a concussion, right?
You can't leave him like this.
I'm the one that's leaving him. If I don't get you a doctor, you're gonna be deader than he is.
Little Blackie cannot carry us both.
He'll have to.
Little Blackie. Man, I just do not remember Lviv dying. Is that a difference in the two adaptations, or do I just not remember? I don't know. I love seeing Rooster's heart here. How bad he wants to save her. Oh, Blackie. Oh, I hate this part.
Hold it. Bring them guns into that creek. I'm borrowing this wagon off of you.
He could have just asked nicely, been like, I have a dying girl here, and maybe they would have, or maybe not. Maybe they would have been like, no, you're not taking that, because I don't think he has any intention of returning it.
Boots! Boots!
Good job, Rooster.
Am I addressing Marshal Reuben J. Cogburn?
You're addressing him, Chan Lee, and General Sterling Price.
I am lawyer J. Noble Daggett.
Ah, he is real.
She commissioned me to pay you the balance of the $75 due in the matter of Tom Cheney. It also covers an additional $200 for saving her life. She says that when she goes home, she wants you to take her there. Poor child, I fear does not know how ill she really is.
Are you a betting man?
On occasion.
All of this and General Price, that baby sister makes it back to Yell County.
Oh, no. No, sir, no.
Yeah, he knows how tough she is now. She's a tough cookie.
Well, I did the best I could. I took the boy home to be buried in his ranger suit. No girl showed up. I don't believe there was one.
So Lviv really did die. Dang.
Someday, Mama will be here, and my brother Little Frank and his family over there, and that is for my sister Veronica and her family. And I will be here, on the other side of Papa.
I don't know if I'd like to have my burial spot picked out.
You have no kin. Now where else would you end up, in some neglected patch of weeds?
Well, now I might just take you up on that offer, sis. If you'll excuse me if I don't try to move in too soon.
I think it's only right that you have Papa's gun.
Almost got you killed when it misfired once.
Because you loaded it wrong when you were in a state of drunkenness. Trust you to buy another tall horse.
Stonehill says he can jump a 4-rail fence.
You're too old and too fat to be jumping horses.
Well, come to see a fat old man sometime. Yeah! Yeah!
I'll be darned, he did jump that fence. Okay, y'all, I just saw it in the credits. The whole time I was going, is Ned Pepper Robert Duvall? I was like, this man looks just like Robert Duvall, but I was like, I don't remember ever hearing that Robert Duvall was in the original True Grit, so I just stayed silent. I was like, I don't want to say it and be wrong. And by golly, there he is in the credits. He played Ned Pepper. I cannot believe it. I was like, man, he looks just like him. He sounds like... It was Robert Duvall, and now I look silly. I should have just said something, but yeah. Robert Duvall, John Wayne, man, awesome. He did a great job as Ned Pepper. There was definitely the same essence of character in the way he played him. I can't remember who played him in the 2010 version, but I mean... very similar performances, not exact, but very similar in the essence of that character. The essence of Rooster Cogburn was definitely the same. See, the adaptations are all I have to go off of because I have not read the novel yet. But the essences of these characters were all very much the same in the two adaptations. Obviously, performances are going to vary a little bit, but I would guess with the similarity of the portrayals and the essences of like Rooster Cogburn, LaBeef, Maddie all being the same, I would say that both adaptations are probably very true to the original novel in that way. I loved this adaptation as well. Both of them are very, very well done. Obviously the 2010 version's a little grittier, pardon the pun, a little darker, a little grittier, and obviously a little more modern in its portrayal. Although, even though it's the more recent adaptation, definitely a little truer to the times in terms of just like the costumes and that sort of thing. A little grittier. This version was a little cleaner, a little more polished, which I preferred, a little darker and grittier and a little more accurate to the times. But I loved the cast in this one. I loved John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn. Fantastic. He plays a grumpy old cowboy so well. And the girl, I believe her name was Kim Darby, playing Maddie. She did a fantastic job. Really likable, and it's easy for a character like that to become annoying or irritating, just like grating how they're constantly pushing and stubborn and determined and demanding to have their way. Like, she could have come across very pushy and annoying, but I really enjoyed her. Just like I enjoyed, what's her name? I really thought I was going to be able to come up with it, but it was Haley something. Can't come up with it right now, but the girl who played Maddie in the 2010, the Coen Brothers adaptation, I thought both her and Kim Darby very strong performances, very likable, with a character that, again, if the performance is not good, could be irritating and unlikable, but she was not at all. I loved especially her bartering with the horse dealer near the beginning. Fantastic dialogue there. And I love the raw determination of the character, because she always talks about Rooster Cogburn's true grit. Like, he's got grit. Well, she has grit. And Rooster recognized that in her. After trying to just brush her off, he ended up seeing how tough she really was and what she was made of. And the relationship between Maddie and LaBeef is always interesting to me. I'm very interested to read that in the novel, because obviously there's a big age gap there, but I mean, stuff like that happened in the Old West, especially, where like sometimes 15 or maybe even like 20-year age gaps between married couples. And I just feel like, I don't know if LaBeef died in the novel or not, but I just feel like if he hadn't, probably like 5-10 years down the road, Maddie and LaBeef probably would have ended up together, because I totally feel like she had a crush on him, and he liked her, obviously, but she was too young. She was like 14 or whatever, but like when she's 18, 19, something probably would have happened there. I could totally have seen those two characters ending up together. I don't remember. I remember there was like an epilogue in the Coen Brothers version where it was talking about like Rooster passing on and Maddie like talking about him or something. I can't remember the ending, but I can't remember if it ever said what happened to Maddie, like if she got married later on or whatever. I cannot remember. So I'm very interested to maybe learn what happened to her in the novel later on. But man, I love the friendship and the father-daughter kind of relationship between Rooster and Maddie, because I mean she loses her father and then Rooster kind of becomes the new father figure for her. Like it's not like she's looking for that or means for that to happen, but she just ends up looking up to him and admiring him despite his drinking problem. He does have a lot of good qualities about him that she admires, and I just love seeing the gleam in her eye when things get Western, you know, like she's enjoying the adventure and the excitement of it all. She's definitely not the typical girl of her time. But yeah, that was fantastic. Really enjoyed the performances, the score, the scenery. Gorgeous. I didn't look in the credits to see where they filmed it, but man, it looked like Colorado or Wyoming or something. Gorgeous. Love those aspen groves. Love those aspen trees. They're some of my favorite trees. And yeah, it was just fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I'm so glad I got to react to this version of True Grit because I'd already seen the other one. Couldn't react to that. So I'm so glad I had not seen this version and could react to it and watch it with you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't. Check out the full-length reaction over on my Patreon, link in the description below. And special exciting announcement. My next book, Cimarron Dove, a Western, the sequel to my first novel, Gone Outlaw, is coming out next Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, September 4th, coming to Kindle. It'll be out in paperback and hardback. If you haven't read Gone Outlaw, you can read Cimarron Dove first. It is definitely written to be able to stand alone. So if you haven't read the first, you can definitely skip to the second. But I will tell you that you're going to get a lot more out of book 2 if you read book 1 first. And if you're watching this, I'm assuming you like stories about young women going to avenge their father's death. Gone Outlaw? It's a young woman avenging her father's death. You might want to check that out if you like that kind of story. Definitely some elements of True Grit in that book. I will also say young woman avenging her father's death with a grizzled old bounty hunter by her side. Check out Gone Outlaw if action-packed westerns with a little bit of romance are your thing. And if you've already read Gone Outlaw, this is your reminder, your friendly reminder, your heads up that the long-awaited sequel is coming. 2 years in the making. I'm so excited to finally be able to share this story with you guys, and I hope you love it. Can't wait to talk about it with all of you. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next week for another Film Friday.